Today's supposed to be a pretty nice day. So when I did the original episode on the first IRT line, I was kind of jumping around and trying to highlight specific parts of it, but didn't really look at all of the stations. Since then, I've been going back and doing different subway lines in more detail. And so today, let's go back and look at part of the original line in more detail. So we just did the upper part of the Lexington Avenue line. Let's go back and look at the lower part of the Lexington Avenue line and actually stop at all the stations. Really take a look. If you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. But for now, let's head back to the subway. Let's go. So now we're at 33rd Street. Like I said, we're back into the original line. The IRT, or the Interborough Rapid Transit Company, started construction on this whole line in 1900. Like I said, it opened on October 27th, 1904. And most of these stations that we're going to look at today were part of that first opening. So this station, like all the other original stations, were shorter to begin with, and then they extended them to fit 10-car trains later on. This station is incredible from what I'm seeing. This is the first time I've been here, actually. I usually skip right by this one because I have no reason to come here. It's a local station, so there are two platforms, one on each side. Express tracks are in the middle. But you can see the local tracks actually tip up at the end of the platform. And the reason for that was to help trains slow down as they pulled into the station. It does the same thing on the other side at the end of that platform. We're not terribly deep here. You can see the light there from the outside coming in. It was built using cut and cover. We're down here at the southern extended part of the platform, which was done later, but even that's beautiful at this station. Let's walk back and check out the original part. I called it the Lexington Avenue line, but we're not really on Lexington Avenue. When you pop out, this is actually Park. And over here you see the Murray Hill Tunnel. It goes along Park underground there. And that's one of the reasons that the tracks do interesting things underground here, because they have to avoid this tunnel. It just blows me away. I can't believe I've never seen this before. This station is beautiful. Now we're at 28th Street, also one of the original ones on this line, opened October 1904. Again, local station, 4 tracks, 2 side platforms. This is the extended part down on the northern end. That's just beautiful. It's kind of hidden by these drop lights that they installed. There's also those hidden up there. Apparently this fare control area was painted black in a 2019 renovation. Too bad. I love it in these older stations. Even the ventilation grates are decorative. So the main fare control area was back at the northern end of the platform. Down at the southern end of the platform, there's another fare control area. And this one actually has an exit to a passage in the New York Life building. This is a gorgeous building. It has a gold top to it. Madison Square is just on the other side of this building. Sorry, I got distracted. Back on the subway. Kind of back and forth whether or not to go out and look at the entrance under the MetLife building. I'm really glad I did. That was pretty beautiful. Now we're at 23rd Street, another original station, first opening October 1904. Another local station, 2 local tracks, express tracks in the middle. Platform extensions of the station are at the southern end, which is where I'm standing now. So the original station's down that way. We'll walk over there in a sec. When this station was built, there was an agreement in building the Mercantile building, which was right near here. They put an entrance there that was pretty interesting looking. I don't think there's much of it left, but we'll go have a look. This must have something to do with that entrance that's not open anymore. So the next station on the original line is 18th Street, and we can't go there because it's closed. It's been abandoned since 1948. The reason they closed it was because of the extensions at this station, 23rd Street. They extended it toward 18th Street, and that made the station so close that it wasn't worth having both of them open. We're going to see if we can see it out the window, though. Now we're at 14th Street. This is an express station. We got two island platforms. As you can see, the station's on the curve. So when the trains pull up on this curved part of the platform, the middle part of the train is away from the edge of the platform. So they have these moving gap fillers that close up every time the train pulls in and then fold back up when the train leaves. When they extended the platforms, they extended them both at the rear of the platform, so they go in different directions. That's why the station is offset between the uptown and the downtown side. The station is also a transfer to BMT lines, the Broadway line and the Canarsie line. The platform gets pretty narrow at some parts here. Part of the station is an art installation which highlights a lot of the historical aspects that are still left here. There's an abandoned side platform on either side. In the original part of the station, they had the idea to use that to get people out both sides of the train, but then they stopped using it once the trains became 10-car trains. So that's what you're looking through those red windows right there. So all of these red frames highlight historical aspects of the station. And if you're wondering what they're looking at, it tells you inside the car. This one says track drains. This is Astor Place, another one of the original stations, another local station. So you got two platforms on the side and the express tracks in the middle. Platforms actually have a kind of curve to them, and that's because the station itself is placed on the S curve between Lafayette Street and 4th Avenue. There's no transfer between sides here now, but when it opened in 1904, there was actually a tunnel transfer underneath, making this one of the only original local stations that have free transfer between sides. That's closed now. There are other interesting exits here, though. I'm on the downtown platform right now. This is a store. When this first opened, this was one of A.T. Stewart's stores. He was a famous department store pioneer. Later, when he went out of business, it became a Wanamaker's, but then Wanamaker's closed in 1954. In the 90s, it became a Kmart, and it was that just until 2021. Now it's a Wegmans. So the station is offset because it was extended to different directions. The beaver decorations relate to how John Jacob Astor made his fortune originally in the fur trade, selling beaver pelts. This was an entrance directly into that store right off of the platform here. And it was open for A.T. Stewart and then for Wanamaker's. Even Kmart's entrance was here. Apparently Wegmans did not want an entrance here, so it's closed off now. So we stopped at this bricked up doorway before. This used to go into the Mercantile Library, which is also known as Clinton Hall. But that closed and the passageway was closed up. Here at Astor Place, this is where we have the old replica of the Turkish-style subway kiosk entrance. We've talked more about that in the original IRT subway episode we did. Check that one out if you haven't seen it. This is only for the uptown side. We don't want to go uptown, but I want to look at the uptown side, so let's go down there. This side has the old bathrooms, and the women's bathroom actually was converted into a little newsstand for a while. You can actually see the window cutout that they put in. It closed though. Here's the Wegmans up top. Well, I finished editing the episode and it ended up being more than 20 minutes long. And there was so much good stuff in this episode that I don't want to cut any of it, but I don't like releasing episodes that are 20 minutes long. So I've decided to break this one up into 2 parts. You just finished watching the first part and the second part will be out soon. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the rest of the episodes already available on YouTube, Up to the East Side. Like and subscribe, tell all your friends about it. Look for part 2 coming soon and look for new episodes every Friday otherwise. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. I'll see you next time.